Come on in, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Thank you.
So, I know we had a session last week, and I just wanted to see if we had gotten any further with what we had talked about with help, Mr. Smith helping around the house with the children. Okay, so has there been any advance in what we talked about, which you wanted from the relationship?
I feel like he's helped a little bit, but I'm still carrying most of the load. Like it's not a 50-50 thing right now. It's still like an 80-20, where I'm carrying 80% and I'm getting about 20% help throughout the week.
Okay, so you still feel like you're doing most of the work?
A lot of the work, yes.
Okay, so Mr. Smith, how do you feel about the situation?
I mean, I feel like I'm already doing a lot of work at work. So like to try to come home and then do more stuff is it's hard. Like I just want to come home and I want to relax, and sometimes it's hard after when I work outside all day long to try and come in and still be ready to do stuff at home, and I just kind of want to relax a little bit.
Okay, so you feel like since you work outside, hard labor, and you work in the heat, that you should be able to just come in and relax?
That's what I would like to do.
Okay, that's what you would like to do, but that's not working out right now?
I guess not. I guess it's not working the way that she would like it to. So
So, Miss Smith, what would you like him to do to help you?
Well, at night with our kids, I'm having to bathe them and feed them and pick up the house for the day and feed the dogs and get clothes set out for the next day and make sure homework is done and make sure the dishes are done and make sure everything's ready for the next day, that lunches are packed, that your lunch is packed, that my lunch is packed, that everything's ready. And all you're having to do is take care of yourself, bathe yourself, eat the food, go to bed. And it's not fair. If you could at least do one of the jobs, bathe the kids, that's one less thing I have to do, or prep the lunches, that's one less thing I have to do. And just doing that one thing would take one thing off my plate and make it less stressful. I'm not asking for everything to be done, just one thing to be done.
Okay, so she seems to feel a little frustrated that you're not helping. Do you agree with what she's saying? Do you feel like you don't do anything at all for the kids?
I don't feel that way. I mean, I feel like I come home and if they need help with like homework, I help out with homework. Every once in a while, I might set the table so that we can have dinner together. Um, I don't help out too much with like the bedtime routine, but it seems like they already have that already all under control. The kids are old enough to take care of themselves, so I just don't know why this is such a big problem with some of these other things.
How old are your kids?
One is 5 and one is 9.
Okay. And so you feel like they're old enough that they should be able to do it on their own?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
So how do you think it would go if she just sat down with you and just told them to do it?
It probably wouldn't get done the way that she wants it to get done, and it probably wouldn't get done as quickly. I think there are some things that they could do and that they could help out and do things for themselves.
Okay. So you feel like maybe she does a little too much?
Maybe.
Okay.
I think she can start having them do some things.
So what do you feel like they could do?
I mean, she says like lunches and stuff or like doing the dinner, they can clean up after themselves. When it comes to the lunches, I mean, the 9-year-old knows how to make a sandwich, so I don't know why she feels like she has to do that for him. Whenever I think he could do that. I mean, I don't know. should be able to bathe himself and get his clothes. The 5-year-old, yeah, I mean, he's still learning things and figuring things out, so he might need some help. But I think he tries to do all of it, and then I guess she gets overloaded.
Okay. So how do you feel about what he's saying, that the kids could do more on their own?
Well, if I did what you did and I just sat and played video games, they would never go take a bath because nobody told them to go take a bath. And they would never get their clothes because nobody directs them to go get their clothes. And dinner wouldn't be cooked because nobody's up and getting it started. Even saying something as simple as go take a shower, it's something I don't have to even think about because dad's gonna make sure they get in the shower. Our 9-year-old and our 5-year-old are not gonna take it upon themselves to think I should probably wash my body and brush my teeth. We have to tell them.
Okay, so Mr. Smith, let me ask you a question. When you were a child growing up, did your father help in all the chores around the house and dealing with you and your siblings?
Around the house, not really. I mean, what he would do is just if like we did something wrong, then he was kind of like the authoritative role where he was like, you did this wrong, don't do it again. Kind of like learn from your mistakes. But he didn't do much things around the house. My mom did that because she didn't work, so she stayed home. So most of the stuff around the house was taken care of by her.
Okay, so you kind of feel like that's the way a household should be ran?
I mean, that's how I was brought up, so I feel like, yeah, I feel like maybe that's in my upbringing. Yeah.
Okay. So does your wife work
Part-time.
part-time? Okay. So you feel she doesn't work as hard as you do?
I would say I work more than she does.
Okay.
Not that she doesn't work as hard, but I do work more hours. I work full-time plus, so sometimes 50, 60 hours a week.
Okay. So you kind of feel tired and drained when you get home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's look at like maybe talking about to help both of you out. Is there one chore specifically that you could ask him to help with so that it's not put on the children and so that you can relieve a little bit of stress? Is there one chore you would like him to do?
I guess if you can make sure the dishes are rinsed off at night and put in the dishwasher.
Do you feel that's something you can do, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it'd be too much of a challenge.
Okay. So that would be do you feel like that would kind of lighten your load and relieve some of your frustration as to everything you're doing?
Yes, if you could do that one thing, once dinner's done and everybody's fed, then I could finally go take my shower. It's one less thing that I have to do after cooking food, that I can just know my job is done for the night and I can go take my shower and be done. I'm tired too. I wanna go to bed too.
Okay. Does that seem like it would work for both of y'all?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that maybe if we could work on that, like for the next week, just see how that goes, and then we'll kind of go from there. Do you have any other chores you do at home?
Like I said, I mean, so on the weekends when we're kind of both off, depending on if I have to pick up an extra shift or not, and I do all the yard work. So, I mean, we've got a pretty big yard that takes me like sometimes 3 hours to mow, and then to weed, and then I've got to clean everything off that I just used, all my equipment, so that it stays fresh and clean, so that it doesn't deteriorate and wear out. So I mean, right now in the summertime, I'm mowing every other weekend, and once again, being outside, being in the sun, being hot, have to get up and do that early, and then I'm out there doing it, picking up all the toys and all the dog crap in the backyard so that I can mow, and then I've got to clean everything up. So it's like that takes up a whole day's of the weekend, and so it's like I don't catch a break on those weekends. And then I mean I do, you know, the trash, of course. That's kind of like the man's thing. That's what my dad did. He would take the trash out and do the recycling, get it to the curb, bring it back. You know, I do the maintenance on the vehicles whenever we need to get that taken care of. That's not as regular as like the yard work or the trash, but you know, I'm doing stuff around the house, things that she doesn't do. I take care of those items.
Okay. So you feel like you have quite a few chores it is. Is there anything that maybe Ms. Smith and the boys could do to help you when you have to do the lawn?
I mean, I think the oldest one we can start to incorporate teaching him some things. Honestly, I feel like they could probably go out there and pick the toys up that are out there and just kind of help out that way. So maybe trying to get them involved in something like that might lighten it up a little bit.
Okay. Because we're here, you know, for both of you. We're not just here to make you out to be the bad guy or you to be, you know, the bad mom or the whatever. So we want to make both of you happy in this situation. So, you know, sometimes we have to find a give and a take. And that can lower the frustration on everyone because, you know, each of us sees what we do and then we think that we're the only one doing anything. So, you know, maybe we could make it incorporated where the kids do a little bit more to help with, you know, the older one especially. And then you help her a little bit at night just with that one small task. And then that way she would feel relieved and be able to take a shower, right? Would that be good with you? Would that make you feel a little bit better, lower your frustration just a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. And you can agree to that too?
Yeah, I don't see any problems with that. I mean, I'm eating off of the dishes that she's cooking the food on, so I can help out with that.
Very good, very good. Okay. So, is there anything else that we need to talk about today?
I mean, when it comes down to like when I get off of work, it's like she does part-time stuff, and I'm not saying that she doesn't work, but it's just like with me working outside, it's like sometimes when I come home, I just need a minute or a little bit of time to like offload and relax. So like, you know, maybe like 30 minutes, 45 minutes so that I can like come home and maybe shower because I've been outside all day covered in sweat and dirt, and then just kind of sit down for, you know, like 20 minutes just to get off my feet because I'm on my feet all day long. And you know, when I work 10-hour shifts, so like working 10 hours, like, and then you come home and then, you know, it's like the kids want to see me, so I interact with the kids as much as I can, and then, you know, then we try to get dinner ready, and so then she wants me to try to help out with that, and it's like I just got off a 10-hour shift, being outside all day long, so it's like I just need a little bit of time to just try to get adjusted to being back at home. You know, I like to get cleaned up, I'd like to just take a minute to take a break, because I don't get that during the day, so I don't know if that's, maybe we can, I don't know.
So you're feeling a little frustrated too right now?
Yeah, it's just I just have so much time consumed at work that it's like when I come home, it's like I'm working again. So I just don't ever have a break.
Okay. So I believe that you said you would like to have just a small little 30, 45 minutes when you come in to where you could just kind of maybe take a shower, kind of be in your room by yourself or have some quiet time before they all like start coming to you and needing your attention and her wanting your help and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's something that we can work out. I mean, I don't want to seem like selfish or anything, because I know you're working. But it's just like my days are so long with work. It'd just be nice to kind of have that small amount of that small break in between job and then home.
So how do you feel about things?
I mean, if it was only 30, 45 minutes, that would be fine. But sometimes your 30, 45 minutes turns into all night long. And whenever I get off work, I don't have my me time because I have to get off work and then go get the kids from daycare and then take them to their practice and then have to bring them back home and get them changed. And it's never ending until dinner's over and dishes are clean and it's put away, and now I finally get to have my me time. So I do work part-time, but my job doesn't end whenever I clock out.
So you can understand how he feels about getting off work and then just having to immediately tend to the children. You
Yeah.
can relate to that feeling.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So you pick the kids up from daycare?
Yes.
Okay. Because he works later.
Yes.
Okay. So, we came to the agreement that if he puts the dishes in the dishwasher, then you could have, that time. That would give you what, like 30 minutes extra time at night?
Yeah.
And then if he could come in and say, just have 30 minutes to come in and shower and just maybe sit in the room quietly. And then y'all would each have 30 minutes. It would be at different times, but, would that be something that would work for both of y'all as long as y'all both work together as a team?
Would that be okay with you?
That would work for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And I think the other thing is, he mentioned it earlier, is that the children, and I know that it sounds like your 9-year-old, he's coming to an age to where you feel like it's time for him to help out a little more. Yeah, he's growing up. So, maybe you could take on that father role and kind of lead him and kind of help her direct him and what he could do to help around the house. Just giving directions. You can do that sitting down. So that would be something that would help both of you out if you have him doing that. And even the little 5-year-old can pick up toys and help clean up the house and do little chores so that neither one of you has to do quite so much. Yeah. So I think that this was a very productive session. I think that if y'all, both continue just to give that one little bit, let's try that this week. Both of y'all just give that one little bit so that you can each get at least 30 minutes of quiet time, private time to shower and, kind of decompress. Because when he comes in hot and tired, he wants to do it right then, and you want to do it more at night when everything is done for the day. So y'all are like on a different level there, so that kind of works out perfect because you could give him his time and then he could give you your time. So why don't we work on that this week and see how that goes, and work on maybe making chore list for the 9-year-old and Daddy can start helping with that and just giving him direction and guidance in that. And, that can be done while you're kind of relaxing on the couch and resting. So, why don't y'all work on that this week, and then we will set up another appointment. So we'll say the same time next week.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll talk about how things are going and see if you're working in the right direction and see if it's helping to relieve some of the frustration and some of the tension at home.
Okay.
Okay. And, the other thing is to learn open communication, talk to each other. If he's not holding up his end of the bargain, just let him know. You can use things like I feel statements, like I feel frustrated when you say you're gonna help with the dishes and then you don't. And then he can say the same thing. I feel frustrated when you say I'm gonna get 30 minutes without the children bothering me and you don't. But anytime we say I feel and then we put a feeling word behind it and then we put the action, then that comes off with me first and it's not attacking you for what you're not doing. So it really opens the line of communication in a marriage. So if y'all wanna work on that a little bit too this week, it's just I feel, and then a feeling word, and then when you, okay? And see if that helps a lot, okay?
Okay.
All right, well, thank y'all very much. I appreciate it, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay.